Hey guys, it's Anastasia from FlyFierceFab. While you're here, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so you never miss another new video from me. In today's video, I will be doing a makeup tutorial on this fall kind of look that I'm wearing right here. Funny story, I actually did this look as a Snapchat takeover tutorial a couple of months ago. And by the way, if you're not following me on Snapchat, that's why you should be. You're missing out on stuff like this. And also the Fenty Beauty makeup collection by Rihanna launched recently. I'm sure you guys already know all about that. The day it launched, I made sure I was like one of the first people in my Sephora to get the foundation, and I showed you guys on Snapchat as well my first impressions of the foundation that day. And I also wanted to do a look using some of the products that I purchased. So anyways, I kind of wanted to put that all together in this video today. So I will tell you guys my thoughts on all the products after I show you guys how I did this look. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so getting started, I'm using my Anastasia Contour Cream Kit. I used the shade Nude, and I'm using that to base my lid with a flat concealer brush. This is the base I've always used for my eyeshadows, and I set it with the Airspun loose powder in translucent extra coverage. I typically cut this step out because I feel like it's a little tedious, but I have gotten questions, so I just wanted to show you guys again. Now I'm using Coppertone blush from MAC in my crease, and I'm using a Morphe M505 brush. Real quick, I do want to let you guys know I am sick while I'm recording this voiceover, but girl, I recorded this video like before Gen Beauty and I meant to get it up then. So much stuff happened, I got sick, but I wanted to make sure I got this video up for you guys, and if I waited till I got better, girl, I don't know when you're gonna see this video then. So now I'm using Jax from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I believe this is my Morphe M441 brush, and I'm blending this out lower in my crease. So the goal here is I'm creating depth, so the shadows are going lighter to darker as I like move through my crease. And then something else you'll see me do which I typically cut out my videos, is right now I'm touching up the Coppertone blush that I placed on my lid first. So basically as I move on, I go back and I touch up the colors. And the reason why I typically cut this out of my videos is because I feel like it just makes everything a lot longer, but I just want to show you guys like the detailed step-by-step process with this look. Now I am using a Zoeva 228 brush, I believe, and that eyeshadow that I'm blending out is Sienna from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's basically like a nice dark brown, and I'm blending that out lower in my crease, again using all circular motions, and I'm really just trying to make sure I blend everything out nicely. I'm touching up Coppertone again. Like I said, I'm going back and just like touching up the eyeshadows I previously used with the same brushes I used to apply them. Okay, so I felt like the shape that I made was like getting a little out of control. I wanted it to be a little like tighter and rounder. So I just took some more of that Nude concealer shade from the kit on a synthetic brush, and I'm just trying to like clean up the outer edges. This way I can try to like make the shape a little bit tighter, almost kind of like an eraser. And then I'm going back with Coppertone to touch it up where I actually wanted it to be. Hope that all made sense. So now I'm taking the tiniest bit of correct eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, also on the Zoeva 228 brush. I will have all the brushes listed down below in the description box because I feel like I'm all over the place. But basically I'm using that in the outer V area and slightly into the outer part of my crease just to darken it. I just want to give it like a little bit more depth. I'm not necessarily trying to make it like super duper like dark and black. I just want to create some depth in that area. So I'm using my color switcher to take all of the black shadow off the brush. This way I can go back in with Sienna and touch that up in my crease as well. And it's okay that I got like a little lower down because all that will get wiped away when I carve out my lid. And again, I'm just touching up those crease shades that I previously used. So here we go. This is Telepathy eyeshadow from ColourPop. That is Trophy Wife, the Killawatt Highlighter from Fenty. So I'm pointing to Trophy Wife right there, and I'm showing you the comparison to Telepathy eyeshadow from ColourPop, which I actually did a tutorial with way back in the day when I first got it. I do feel like this is a dupe for Trophy Wife if you're just looking to use it as an eyeshadow shade. When you use it as a highlighter, Trophy Wife definitely has more of that like that glittery like beaming glow when the light hits you. You don't get that from Telepathy, so just keep that in mind. I was just blending the edge of the concealer sort of into Sienna and Corrupt a little bit more after carving out my lid. And then now I'm applying the Trophy Wife highlighter onto my lid, and I'm using the MAC 239 brush to do this. And then I'm just using that Zoeva brush with a little bit of Sienna just to like touch up the crease, the tiniest bit at the edge, and blend it into Trophy Wife. This glitter that I'm using right here is called Black Copper Mine. I got it off of bulkglitters.com. Actually, now it's superglitters.com for like $1. And when I originally did this look on Snapchat, I just did like a stripe of glitter, like where the greenish shade met the darker smoky shade. I don't know why I did, girl, but I did. I used Luscious from Too Faced as my inner eye highlight. Now I'm using my Inglot gel liner. It kind of dried out, so I put like a drop of the Duraline in there just to like revive it. This way I can use it again. That is a great product to have on hand if you have like gel eyeliners from Pots or something that have dried out and you want to revive them. Pick up some Duraline, girl. Now I'm applying some mascara. I think this is like the Lancome Lash Sensational. Again, all the products will be below. And then I am using the House of Lashes Iconic Lashes. And I am now cleaning up underneath my eye with the same Anastasia concealer. And I'm going back through with all the same shades I used in my crease. So first that was Coppertone, then Jax, and then I only used Sienna. I did not use Corrupt, and I used all the same brushes. So now I'm trying out the Fenty Primer. And I liked it, but not necessarily for oil control purposes. Like, it works well to like make your skin look smooth, but I didn't find that it controlled my oils well, which is why I used the Becca primer on my T-zone, and then I only showed you guys when I used the Fenty primer. Color correcting with Coral from the Anastasia Contour Cream Kit, as per usual. And now I am using the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the shade 420. This is for neutral undertones, if I recall. And I definitely do have warm undertones, but I can also get away with neutral undertone foundations. And I really like how this foundation looked on my skin on camera. Like, when I was watching it while I was recording, I was like, oh girl, you look at airbrushed and things, hey. It looks really, really good, and I cannot wait to do some more looks with it. This is a really great like everyday foundation, and it also photographs beautifully. Look at that. Not a pore. What's a pore? Where? Okay, so now I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in all the normal areas that I would typically highlight, and then I am blending it out with the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. This is like a really great like drugstore brush. It's like $3. Definitely cop one. Remember, it works best when it's clean. And I am blending out all of that. And then I tried out the Black Opal, I think it's their loose finishing powder. I don't remember the shade. I want to say it was like medium or something. However, I felt like I got a little bit of flashback when I used this to set my highlights. So I just continued using that product after this. It looks great in person, but like in a flash photo, sis, like no. Then I am taking, I believe that is Chocolate in the Middle from the Anastasia kit to cream contour, and I applied it with my beauty blender. In hindsight, that was not the best approach. I did peep after that I did not blend out my contour as well as I needed to, and I am completely ashamed, but moving on. I'm setting the cream contour with the Black Radiance contour palette. I used the darkest shade to set my contour. And then I cleaned up my contour line once I moved my hair with the same Black Opal powder that I used before. And then I'm just setting the rest of my face with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder in medium to deep. I have found with the Fenty foundation, I don't feel the need to use like a heavier powder to set. Like the Laura Mercier works just fine. I haven't been reaching like for a Studio Fix powder or something like that, like a little translucent powder just fine. Because when the foundation dries down, one, it gets slightly darker, but two, it feels like it sort of just like sets itself. You don't really feel the need to put powder on after. Now I'm going to spray my face with a little bit of Fix Plus just to, you know, get everything melding nicely into the face. And, you know, we're going to fan that down so it dries. Okay, so I'm applying some mascara to my lower lashes just to make them pop. And now I sprayed my brush with some Fix Plus, and I'm using a fan brush to apply some of the LeBron's highlighter. This was Jackie Aina's collab with Artist Couture last Christmas, and oh my gosh, if you did not get your hands on this, girl, I don't know what to tell you. It's like a really pretty shade. So now I am spraying another highlighting brush, and I'm going to go in with Trophy Wife, and I really like how it looks mixed in with a bronzy highlighter. And I got this idea from Ronke on YouTube. She mixed one of the bronzy highlighters from the Fenty Beauty collection with Trophy Wife, and it looks poppin'. Anyways, so for blush, I'm going in with Sienna. This is from La Femme. It's like a $3 dupe for Raisin Blush from MAC. And I'm just blending that out on my cheeks. And then I'm lining my lips with Chestnut Lip Liner from MAC. Trying to define my Cupid's bow there. And then I'm applying Club Hopper. I believe this is a lip suede from NYX, but it gave it like a nice like red cranberry fall type tone, but it was still a little too glossy for me. So I went over that with the 22 Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Heartfelt 22. By the way, I am no longer a brand ambassador for 22 Cosmetics, but I do still 100% still support them. I'm setting my face with some all-nighter setting spray, and that's it, girl. Okay, so my thoughts on the individual products. I want to start off with the foundation. This is definitely a standout product from the collection. If you have not gotten your hands on a foundation or at least swatched it, you definitely should. I love like face-based products like foundations and things like that, but I also have very oily skin, so I was kind of concerned about how this foundation would wear on me and stuff throughout the day. Okay, so on the box it says that it's medium to full coverage for all, so like all skin types. It's long wearing and it's supposed to be light as air. Okay, so on my very oily skin, I will say that this foundation has been wearing pretty well. I can get to about 6 hours or so before I feel like I really need to like blot my face and touch up with my MAC pressed blotting powder. I did swatch the blotting powder that came out with this collection when I was at Sephora, and I don't know, when I swatched it, I still saw like a little bit of a white cast on my hand. I could have been swatching real aggressively, but I was kind of like, that might give me flashbacks, so I'm going to bypass it. But I think that's also probably why she released like blotting products with this foundation. If you have very oily skin, you will need that. This is about as glowy as I care to be. Whenever I try like glowy foundations, within like an hour and a half or so, it just looks like you could fry chicken on my face. Like, it's too much oily, I look greasy, it's gross. But with this foundation, it really is like a soft matte finish. I have a glow and I don't look greasy, so I really like that. The foundation is really light. It doesn't feel like I have anything on my face at all. This is probably the lightest foundation I've ever tried. Next closest comparison would probably be something like a tinted moisturizer. It really feels that light, and it definitely is medium coverage, as you guys saw when I applied it on my face. I typically do about 2 pumps, and because the foundation does dry really fast, I try to work in sections. So it's either this half of my face or this half, and I blend it out before moving on. Everybody has been talking about how it oxidizes a bit, and they also informed me about that at Sephora when I purchased the foundation. And it definitely does oxidize a little bit, but it's not like, whoa girl, like that's a whole nother color than what you just put on your face. It just dries down a little bit darker, but it's not dramatic. And personally, I'm one who prefers to buy their foundations a little bit darker anyways, simply because when I set up like my lights or I'm filming and things like that, the lighting can wash me out. So I do like to wear my foundations a little bit darker. I typically don't buy them as a direct match. I do want to point out I am summertime fine right now, so I still have like my summer tan going on. I'm not like my winter color right now. Now, I have tried this on my long like 12-14 hour days. It's still there. It doesn't like wear off my face, but I do look very oily. It's blottable, but if I wanted to go out like at the end of the day, after the 12 hours, I personally would prefer to wash my face and reapply. Okay, the Fenty Primer, which I have the sample of, it is really nice. The first time I applied it on my face, I tried it all over my face. Today, which you kind of didn't see, is in my T-zone I used my Backup Poreless Perfecting Primer, which is like my heavy duty matte primer in my T-zone, and then I used the Fenty primer everywhere else. When I used it all over my face, I did definitely see that it like blurred my pores and whatnot, but it wasn't necessarily the best for oil control in my T-zone. I personally need something a bit heavier, and yes, that's even with setting my primer with loose powder like I typically do. It still does give you a bit of a matte finish, but it's not like super duper matte, and it still manages to feel hydrating. Okay. The Killawatt. Everybody has been talking about Trophy Wife, and like people were saying on Twitter too, it's like one of the most immediately recognizable shades. It definitely is a very brown girl friendly shade. I have seen some people who have lighter skin tones pull it off, but a lot of people have been scared because it does have a very like golden yellow greeny tone. And also, as you guys saw, I used it as an eyeshadow, and as you saw, it's basically a dupe for Telepathy from ColourPop, which was like from an old collection. I think it might have been a collaboration. I'm not sure. I've had that eyeshadow for a long time. I liked the gloss. It's really shiny. It's not like sticky like the MAC lip glosses, so that was nice. But when I wear gloss, I want something that has more pigment, which is why I didn't pick up the gloss. And as far as like the highlighting and contouring sticks, my Anastasia contour kit works just fine for me right now, and I have a couple of them on hand, so I didn't really need to buy the matchsticks. But I do want some of the highlighting sticks, specifically blonde, or is it blondie? One of the two, girl. And I want cinnamon. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the collection. That is how I did this look. If you tried any of the products from the collection, leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite was. I do have a couple of videos you should check out while you're here, sis. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you never miss any of my upcoming tutorials or other review videos. You can catch me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I am FlyFierceFab on all those platforms. Thanks for watching. Stay snatched, and I'll see you next time.